What up, what up? Welcome back. I'm your host, B. Ryder. It's my co-host,
J. Bell.
And this is Final Thoughts. Today's topic, pretty privilege. Let's check it out.
The subject that I'm talking about, if you saw the title of this video, is pretty privilege. And for anybody who doesn't know, the concept of pretty privilege is that you basically get treated better in life the more attractive you are. I think I've always been aware that it's out there. I've always been aware that, people, specifically women, can use their looks as currency as they move through a patriarchal society. They can use it to get better mates. They can use it to get better jobs. I got a little older and I started to take stock of different things that I didn't have in my life, which I think we do all the time. You know, people compare themselves to other people. It happens. And I started to just think about all the things in my life that probably would have been a little bit easier if I had some pretty privilege. I discovered at a really young age that when I'm at the club, I'm going to be paying for my own drinks. I was not the type of woman that men would fight over, that men would really even approach. Then I went out to a lounge a little bit later, walked in, nobody made eye contact with me, Men have always sort of regarded me as, oh, she's there, and kept it moving. And it didn't change just because I had dressed myself up. I'd finally done everything a girl is supposed to do, right? And I still wasn't good enough. So I came home and I had a great night out with friends, but my heart was also, I was hurting because I was like, I'm always going to be invisible, even if I try.
Pretty privilege. Do you have it? Call this number if you feel like it.
Oh man. So like, I guess my first question would be like, is pretty privilege real?
That's always the initial question.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta start from scratch.
Pretty
The
privilege.
frigate, you know?
From the very jump. What is pretty privilege, and is pretty privilege a real thing?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think so. Pretty sure.
You're pretty sure. Ugly sure.
I ain't too pretty. I ain't pretty sure enough to be
Decently
privileged
sure.
about it. You hear me? It's definitely a thing, right?
Yeah.
I think if you haven't experienced it, you've probably seen it, like levied on other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you probably know. I think if you don't know, then
Just go out to a club for a weekend, and then VIP, and the girls who bring the little sparklers and the champagne and all that. Just look how that the whole thing look. They more than likely got that job because they look,
Yeah, it's even a thing in like certain hiring processes with companies. You have to look. You got to look a certain caliber.
Right.
They hire you based on your looks, and they could not hire you based on that too.
Right.
But yeah, I think she hit some interesting points.
Yeah, she actually said the whole thing about getting hired and being able to find like a better mate because you look better and shoot. My thing, I was like, shoot, you could get out of trouble easier.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. Like, come on. What lady out here hasn't tried to leverage her attractiveness to get out of a ticket?
Or anything that she finds detrimental, she can use her feminine wiles
to get out of it.
Get out of trouble.
I'm like, I get it. I would
I
do
would
the
use
same
it too,
thing.
right?
So
if I can, I will.
Yeah. So I damn sure get it. I think, she was spitting some. It kind of felt like a little bit of a woe is me vibe that I got from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't want to downplay anybody's personal experience about it. So I get the frustration that comes with it, with walking into, and she gave a scenario where she got dolled up, and she walked into like a club or something like that, and nobody looked at her, right? And she was like, oh, well, maybe they're just busy, preoccupied, doing whatever they're doing. And then her friend came in, and all of the dudes who didn't look at her looked at her friend.
Say Red?
Yeah.
Oh, not you. Her. Who? Her. Her there.
Her there.
Say, tap your friend for me right quick? Yeah, right quick.
Yeah, that's so there I was like, ugh, like that's a rough one,
Yeah,
but at the same time, like I definitely have sympathy for her. Also, I'm kind of like, this is what like fellas deal with like all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like with us, we're raised to where this is what it is, and you got to deal with it. You got to come up with some kind of other talent or some kind of other ability to attract women if you aren't attractive, like physically. So if you like an unattractive dude, the world is not going to care. The world is not going to treat you no differently. It's going to be like, you ugly, that's what it is. I hope you could play the guitar real good, because you're going to be ugly. You know what I'm saying? So in that aspect, I'm like, I sympathize, but also this is what it is. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's it's life. Honestly, I mean, I already know, some people watching are gonna be like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and yeah, but there's like this shared spectrum of like beauty that we share, and I really just hate ignoring that, because I feel like I'm living in reality once I acknowledge that we do share this, right? Because I don't really have an example. If I did, I don't want to get canceled. So.
Unsubscribe.
Right.
And good night.
But yeah, pretty privilege is a real thing, and I'm sorry. I just think that it's kind of like a human nature thing, whereas you treat people who you find attractive in whatever way that may be, you give them preferential treatment over people who you find not so attractive. Yeah. Now you might be like, go off of a person's personality. Well, you can't really see personality all the time. You're not always in a situation where you get to get to know the person. Yeah. Sometimes you have to make a decision, and sometimes that decision leads you to give them better treatment. Oh, I let him do this because he was easy on the eyes, or because she was fine. And that's really the world we live in. I mean,
happens all the time.
Yep, happens all the time.
You've done it, and you haven't realized that you've done it. It's a phenomenon called the halo effect, where you unconsciously tend to trust and believe more attractive people. This is a real thing. You can look it up. It's in society. People tend to trust people who are more attractive. People tend to give them the benefit of the doubt more. So pretty privilege is a real thing, because if you are more attractive, people are more likely to treat you a certain type of way versus if you weren't. And that's kind of the reality of the situation. What's funny is, and she didn't bring it up because I guess it wasn't the topic of the video, but I was watching her video, it made me think about the drawbacks that come with being beautiful at the same time. Like the curse of being beautiful. Because there are bad things that come with being pretty at the same time, right? Does the good outweigh the bad? Circumstantial, it depends, right? But there are some bad things that come with it too. People will always try to get something out of you. You probably, being attractive, you're probably always gonna have people coming up to you. Especially being an attractive woman. You got to deal with people all day, whether you want to or not. Yeah. You might find it difficult to be yourself because you're surrounded by so many people. People tend to put a lot more responsibility on an attractive person than a less attractive person. So if you're the attractive one, it's probably up to you to come up with what the fellas is gonna do tonight. We counting on you to set everything up. You got you got the females, but you got to make it happen. And also, like, you're probably more susceptible to being used, especially being an attractive woman. I've seen that myself, like attractive, especially young girls who grow into their beauty really quickly.
Yeah.
Like, people will try to manipulate and use them so much, to the point where they're all used up by the time that they're 30, and they don't trust anybody because everybody's tried to use them because they're beautiful.
Yeah. I probably thought about that before.
Yeah.
But I always think about the positive more.
Yeah. Because you can see the positive.
The winning, they're winning.
Come on, right? You don't think about the cheerleader who's got the fucking the jock boyfriend in a negative light.
Right,
it looks
right.
like to you that she's she living the dream.
Yeah.
But then you don't really think about the fact that she has to put on all day, that she can never probably ever really be herself because everybody's always looking at her. So while you kind of feel like, oh, maybe I wish I had pretty privilege, maybe it might not be something you could deal with. Could you imagine that? Like, everybody always looking at you.
No. I'm good, baby.
Somebody always wants something from you. Let me call up just to see what he's doing all day.
Nah. I'm good on that.
I can say that would be irritating. That would be really irritating. I wouldn't.
Just my phone ringing, I'd just be like,
why? What do you want?
Leave me alone.
Oh, God. But yeah. As far as that, it's like, that's I think that's a real thing.
Well, you know what used to baffle me a good bit is when you find someone that fits within that spectrum of beautiful, and they're just like, no, I'm not pretty. And it's just, that would always just be like,
the denial of it, huh?
What? Like, you are stunning. Like, how does this happen?
I don't know. And that's a rare thing, right? I feel like that's a rare thing.
I can't speak on how rare it is. I've encountered it a few times with, like, really, really pretty women.
Yeah. And they just,
like, they are really good looking.
Didn't realize, didn't know.
They just was like, they think they look,
regular.
I'm like, shit. You could get everybody in, like, what I'm saying, the club or the lounge or whatever. Like, you got it. I don't understand this.
You think you look regular? I don't know that.
Yeah, that baffles me. Where does
I guess what is
how was she not living life getting pretty privileged? Like, you know what I'm saying? That throws
I don't know.
Throws me for a loop since we're talking about this subject.
Yeah. It definitely happens. I don't know. I don't know how it happens.
Sometimes I'll be like, are you lying to me? Because you
that's
dress
the first
well,
thing
you keep yourself up.
You gotta be bullshitting. You gotta be bullshitting. Get out of here.
Cause like you just looking at the person like, nah, no way. You in shape, you got all this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tell me. Whatever. Well,
Could be lying, could not be.
Confused. Come across that maybe a couple times, and it is baffling. Like, why do you think like have you just had low self-esteem your whole life, or have you like I don't know, are you just a humble person? Like, well, everybody's just really nice to me, that's all,
So you just unaware that this whole time
they're nice to everybody else too.
That's extra nice to you.
True that. You final thoughts?
My final thoughts is that my biggest thing is just living in reality, right? What's more probable that we just say that everyone is beautiful, yay, or that some people, that there's a scale, That there's some people fall somewhere along the lines on that scale. Which one you think is most reasonable? If you can look at somebody and say that this person is attractive and this person is unattractive, they both can't be 10s, right? Like if the attractive person is a 10 and the unattractive person isn't, then you can't say that everybody is beautiful and on the same level, because they're not. And let's just be honest about it. Just be real with you, yourself, and I.
Especially I.
Yeah.
My final thoughts is like, yeah, pretty privilege is definitely a thing. It's real frustrating when people try to deny that there's a gradient, there's a sliding scale on this thing, and it's like, I think it'll be easier if we kind of accept that this is the thing. If you want to try to change it, that's fine, but you kind of have to accept that it's a thing first. And I can understand the frustration that comes with being unpretty. I can definitely understand the young lady's frustration in that she feels like, she's never gonna be that girl, and that's okay. That's fine. You don't have to be. The problem, I think, lies in trying to be that. Maybe you need to rearrange the way you look at the world, because that's something that I had to do at a young age. You gotta, you have to temper your expectations sometimes. You're not the hottest, the flyest guy out there. That's okay. You don't have to be. If you strive your whole life trying to be that, and you've just been failing, you might need to try something else. Maybe that's not something that you should be striving for. And I can definitely empathize with it, with women more than guys, because when you think about it, we have like more avenues to attract the opposite sex. Like if we aren't physically attractive, we can get some money and attract women. If we don't have money, we can get social status, or everybody around us knows who we are. That's such and such. That's such and such. As soon as you walk into the room, into the club, everybody knows who you are. You're not rich or attractive, but you got social status. And that can afford you women. You can be extremely talented as a man, and your talent can afford you women. If I know how to play the guitar, or I'm a good musician, or I'm a great singer or dancer, that can attract women to me. But with women, it's kind of like, y'all kind of only got that one thing. So I can definitely understand the frustration. But this is why I say we need to change some things. Ladies, shoot your shot. Come to us. Because all of this is just circular at this point. We've been saying this, you never know. You never know. Yes, sir.
Facts.
But yeah, that's final thoughts though. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Like and subscribe. Follow me on IG at BWriter.
Follow me on IG. It's chaos_noop, and that's chaos with a K.
That's right. Y'all can find the link to the original vid in the description. Y'all should check it out. See what y'all think about Pretty Privilege, and if you have it or not. But once again, I'm BWriter.
J Bell.
This is
Final Thoughts.